everybody's ready here.
All right, I'm not going to underestimate him again either. Thank you very much. We have our Deputy Mayor, Bonnie Drew, tonight presenting for the mayor. Thank you, Bonnie.
Thank you. Good evening, Madam Chairman, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Zirkle, Clerk Lesko, Treasurer Busherliff, all the alderpersons. Thank you for being here. We're going to have a very quick presentation. If I can get this to, maybe. There we go. That is just a quick look at our organizational chart as it's made up, and I'm going to flip over to page 3 or slide 3, where it shows us a breakdown of the administration, boards and commissions, and the ones that are listed here immediately on slide 3 are the ones that, there we go, that do have a budget, including civil service, planning and zoning, the senior citizens. We do on the senior citizens building, and that's the budget maintaining that. The band commission for performances. However, due to COVID, there were no performances this year. The Veterans Commission, the communications, which includes not only all of the information put out by our communications director, Julie Frevert, in her office, but also public access, the PEG funds, community relations, and corporation council. Taking just a quick look at kind of what goes on under my purview are the boards and commissions. We have 26 boards and commissions across the city, and throughout the entire year, every single one of them met, and most of them met their required number of meetings, and they did continue to move issues and questions and projects forward. So I'm very proud of the work that they have done. During this year, we also implemented the online board application process on the city website, which has proven to be very successful. The board diversity, we have increased the female participation from 30% to 40% since 2015. The minority participation has increased from 20% to 27% during that time. So we're very excited because we do try to get diversity across geographic locations, age, gender, ethnicity, interest, expertise, education, and so forth. So it's not just, one area that we look at, but we're very proud of all of that. As far as administratively, we do the ladies in the office are very instrumental in the one-stop Christmas shop. They are the lead partner also with the meal train implementation at the warming center, and they do a very good job. As far as the Mayor's Youth Council, we've expanded the Mayor's Youth Council, not necessarily in the number of schools, but in the number of participants. Most of our schools, the 186 schools and the ones here in the city, have 4, 5, and even 6 members. So I think the interest has grown. And also from the surrounding counties that have residents that live in the city. They may go to Glenwood or Rochester, but they are city residents. They do several community projects, but this year we have included the Adopt a Street. And last year we had a town hall meeting held at Southeast High School, and we had over 150 participants. And probably tomorrow or the next day, you're going to be receiving an invitation for our next town hall meeting, which is going to be held on February 24th through Zoom. So I'm hoping that all of you will join us for that. Moving next to Corporation Council and Mr. Jim Zirkle's department, I have volunteered to present his numbers this year. Administratively, throughout calendar year 2020, there were 12 executive orders that were issued, 321 ordinances were prepared and reviewed, 43 zoning ordinances, 810 expungent cases, and that was a tremendous amount of work. And if you remember, that was tied in with some state legislation expunging a lot of records that they had to go through and get those cleared up. State, federal, and administrative court matters, risk management, workers' comp, labor, and contract negotiations are just some of the areas that they cover. Under code enforcement during the calendar year 2020, there were a total of 716 administrative court cases filed, 153 total pending demo cases, 76 were referred, but they were not filed due to budget constraints. Total MR cases filed, or pending, is 124, and there were 258 total small claims filed. During 2020, as a summary, total fines and fees collected, which include registration fees collected through administrative courts, $40,700. And you will remember for a while when we had the executive orders from the governor, we could not hold administrative court. So that's one reason those numbers are down. Total fines and fees collected from code enforcement, risk, and corporation counsel, $215,584.87. Business licensings collected through fines and fees, $59,923.49. An ordinance violation and vehicle use tax collection, $622,357.68. So even during this year where people are going through a lot of financial hardships, there were still a total of $938,566.04 collected through the efforts of Corporation Counsel. Are there any questions on any of the Corporation Counsel information before we move forward?
Do you have any questions in council chambers?
Yes, ma'am, if you don't mind.
Okay,
I have one.
is that Alderman
Hanauer. Yeah.
Hanauer? Thank you.
On the slide 7, number 7, so we've collected all this. Do we know, how do we do our collections on that? Does that go to a collection agency, and how much is outstanding currently? Do we know that?
These were just ones that are done in-house.
Okay.
I'm sorry, if everyone could please speak into the microphone in council chambers so we can hear you.
You're on.
I apologize.
Thank you. Thank you.
No, thank you very much. These reflect just in-house. There is a different process with, as Treasurer Busher, we always work very closely together. This is down fairly significantly, like from last year. And the primary area, if you look at this, is really the use tax, and that's what I think Director McCarty had mentioned about use tax. We collect use tax. So these would be instances, you'll see the primary areas and that would be if a person, for example, would buy cars or things like that outside of Springfield, and then they get noticed from OBM, then they end up not paying, the use tax. So, but the numbers, generally speaking, are down fairly significantly just because of all of the activities. But these are all internal. These are things that we are doing.
And then one other question, and I don't know if this probably maybe goes through Public Works. I can't remember. The number of demo cases that we were not able to get to because of budget. Do we know what the cost would have been to do those? Because I know that we've had some abandoned houses that have caught fire in recent times. I think we had a firefighter that was injured at one of them a while back. I can't remember when, but getting those houses down are, I think is a public safety issue. I just didn't know what we were, what that amount would.
That's an excellent question. The current process has been that and Director Bottoms could speak to that maybe during his process, but the process that's been in place is actually the department, the engineers and inspectors actually rank them. So what ends up happening is with the ones that are acted upon are the ones that are considered the worst or most dangerous. And there has been simply because of budget funding, the inability to do them all, but they have ranked them, and we always follow that ranking, meaning that the inspectors and through building and zoning, they will literally rank the properties, which is worse, like top 40 worst, we do those first.
Right. Okay, thank you.
Madam Chair,
Yes, please.
a follow-up question to Corporation Counsel Zirkle. If you can hear me, Jim, how are we doing on legal staffing? And we've had, turnover, and some attribute that to the private sector stealing our attorneys because, and sometimes, and in some cases, the state government because they can pay higher wages and salaries. And so the question is, do you need more monies to retain our attorneys on staff? You don't have to give a full answer now, but I think it's a concern we need to address possibly.
Just very briefly, we currently, I believe, have 4 openings. We have traditionally, I would say, trained young lawyers that sometimes then get hired away, and primarily by the state. The most recent have been police legal advisor, and then our labor relations attorney in the last about the last couple of months. So I think we're okay. I think we have to pay attention to that. We've run very lean this year, just by way of just because of the directions with the mayor and just the concern about the budget. My hope is I was able to promote internally for the police legal advisor, which I do like to do. We were able to hire one young gentleman into code enforcement. We use that kind of as a training ground. Of the 4 vacancies, I'm hoping that we will be able here in the relatively near term hire an attorney to work in the labor relations area and maybe 1 paralegal. So that's the current plan. However, we do get competition, from the state, and it's primarily the state. I think we've lost, over the last 3 or 4 years, we've lost 3 attorneys, I think, to the Attorney General's office. The most recent ones are to appellate prosecutor and then also to the State Ethics Board. So that's all, and again, remember that, the work at the city is very hard, meaning there's a lot of activities, there's a lot of cases, a lot of things going on, but it's an excellent training ground for a young attorney. So they become more valuable to the state when they can hire somebody, that's been to court and things like that. So that does, that does happen, but I'm not sure there's a absolute solution to that. However, we have been running very lean this year, and I am hoping to get at least 1 or 2 of those more persons hired. And we just have to be cognizant of it, but I think we're okay right now.
Thank you for that explanation. And in order to maintain continuity, we may have to do what some of the other government bodies do. I noticed tonight, for example, that the Park District is relying on in-house counsel of a private firm. The school district does that. And so if you need to consider that approach for some critical knowledge areas, let's think about it. Thanks a lot for your answer.
And I could address, if you'd like, just very briefly on the issue of outside counsel. We always historically have done that, like with bond counsel, things of that nature, highly specialized. We have done that, I think, you may recall, in some very specific litigation areas, like, bring up a very unfortunate circumstance with the drowning case, you recall. We have outside counsel there that's working actually with in-house counsel. And then more recently, we have rather routinely, again, as needed, consulted with like regulatory counsel and or like most recently regarding like the Comcast issue. We have talked to an outside counsel that's done quite a bit of the franchise stuff to talk to them about the areas that we can move forward on service requirements. So I would say that we've tried to do that, but I don't think we've I don't think we've abused it. I'm a strong believer in trying to have a good internal staff, but there are definitely times when it's appropriate to have outside attorneys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Do we have any additional questions for Mr. Zirkle at this time? Don't hear any. So, Deputy Mayor, if we could move on through the mayor's budget.
Okay.
Thank you.
Looking at slide number 8, the communications accomplishment, and this is the department that has been out front and center and everybody's go-to one throughout the year. Julia Frevert has done an outstanding job with the communications, just starting with the Zoom installment that we're taking advantage of tonight and how we have met through the year at a lot of our board and commission meetings that are also using Zoom. The City of Springfield Facebook Live series is a very popular addition. We've assumed the responsibility of Comcast Cable Channel 22 to assist School District 186 in operation and production. Video partnerships with the Boys and Girls Club reopening, the Citizens Club virtual programming, State of the City, Springfield Frontiers 2021 virtual Martin Luther King breakfast, the Bloomberg-Harvard relationship, their monthly sessions that are held, scholarship to attend the Harvard course, Digital Transformation in Government, which we're taking advantage of, selected for the data project to assist District 186 in creating a metric dashboard, selected for Physical Health and Equity Initiative, Summer 2021 Fellowship Opportunity. And going to slide 9, help facilitate, I'm sorry, that's it for communications. Does anyone have any questions or comments for Julia Forever?
Thank you. Any comments from the chambers? No? Any from anyone on Zoom? Thank you very much, Julia. That was a lot of work. Thank you. We do enjoy our Zoom meetings, too.
Moving on to slide 9, community relations accomplishments. Under Director Juan Huerta, Director Huerta and the office helped facilitate the opening of the 2020 Cooling Center during COVID-19, assisted in the opening of the Salvation Army Winter Warming Center for 2020-2021, which houses 60 to 80 people per night. The city representative on Heartland Continuum of Care Board representing the city. His office has maintained 100% compliance with the EEO. He attended the virtual EEO annual conference to keep us in compliance. And the ADA transition plan, which is compliant with the Department of Justice, and Juan is the liaison with the Disabilities Commission and does a lot of good work with them. Any questions or comments for community relations?
Anything from the chambers? It looks like everyone on Zoom is good.
Okay.
No, thank you very much, Director Huerta. I also probably just for the audience should explain, in keeping with COVID precautions, we are having just one person at the table to give presentations tonight, which is why our deputy mayor is taking on the entire task this evening. We do appreciate that. Thank you.
Absolutely. Looking forward to our workforce slide. We do maintain across those 4 different departments a workforce open position of 30. We do have 4 openings. 7 of those are filled with minorities for a 28% ethnicity rating, and 52% make up the mayor's workforce. Looking at slide 11, if you'll look at our budget there, you can see that overall we are down about 6.01% in this year's ask. But part of that is being, as it is reflected in the next slide, if it will move forward, is that part of, well, let's just start at the top. The Office of the Mayor represents 2.75% of the corporate fund. $132,800 or 3.69% are the PEG funds, which come from the Comcast and that is used for public education and government funds. The Office of the Mayor will see that decrease of almost $230,000 or 6%, which is largely due to the movement from the AmeriCorps grant funding to the Office of Planning and Economic Development. We also saw decreases in personnel services due to the replacing of higher salaried retiring employees with lower salaried incoming starting salaries. Do we have any questions?
Anything from chambers? I don't see any from the Zoom meeting. Thank you very much. Mr. Mayor, if there's anything else you'd like to add to your budget, but if not, I believe we are done with the evening's hearings. I want to thank everyone for your time and your patience. I will take a motion to adjourn this hearing.
No.
I won't move it. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, Kristen, I'm sorry. Alderwoman DeCenso, I thought you were just waving hi at me. Go ahead, I'm sorry, Alderwoman.
So sorry. I meant to do this in the city council portion of our meeting, but the city of Springfield lost a 30-year employee, Jean Reno. She worked in CWLP for the city for 30 years and CWLP, and we lost her to COVID last. So I just wanted to acknowledge that and her service to the city. And if we could have a moment of silence for her, I think that would be appropriate. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Will you take a moment? Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank you for that, Alderwoman. I've actually been hearing from people who were friends with her, and it sounds like a big loss to our community, not just CWLP.
Madam Chair, your next,
Yes.
Absolutely.
your next hearing is on Thursday at 5:30.
Thank you very much. We will adjourn this hearing. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
So moved and second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you.
Aye.
Have a nice night, everybody.
Thank you.